Welcome, everyone. This is Waite, and we are here at our Zoom talk. And so excited to introduce you our guest today. Her name is Gail. Christine is a keynote speaker, story, breakthrough leadership strategist, and book publishing coach. Christine, how are you doing? Welcome to our show.
I'm doing so great, Marie. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be on here and to be collaborating and seeing you again. And thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Yes, and I remember seeing you at the event with Dr. Stephen Kalalui down in La Jolla Hotel. What was the name of that hotel? Do you remember?
I think it was Hilton down in San Diego,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yes, and there were like thousands of people in there. Am I right? I mean, it was an incredible event.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if it was thousands of people, but there was a lot of people there.
Okay,
Yeah.
it seems
Or
like it's
maybe
a thousands of people. It's just a lot of people. It was a big ballroom. I mean, what do you
yeah.
think? Would that be like about 500 or
Yeah,
close to
I
a
think
thousand?
we ran into each other at two different events, and I think the first one was like through Awaken. I think there was like 600 or 700 people there, and then with
Okay,
the other event, I think it
yeah.
was a little bit smaller, but like yeah, huge ballroom. Yeah, just a lot of people. So for us to like run into each other twice like that, it's like, oh,
I
we
know.
totally are meant to connect.
That's awesome. And I really don't know much about your background. So can we just if you can just share that background of yours so the audience can get an understanding of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my background is, I went to school to be an English teacher, or I was going to teach Shakespeare at a university. And I
Wow.
just, for whatever reason, I just felt called to go out and make money and pay off student loan debt rather than go the teacher route. And I found myself learning a lot and ended up in medical sales and then ended up owning my own healthcare business, and then
Wow.
just feeling a misalignment there because I went
Uh-huh.
to school for English. So I just kept like asking God, like, okay, I'm ready for my purpose. What is that? I just started asking those deeper questions, like
Okay.
what am I sent here to do? And then I ended up running into someone who became my book publishing coach. And I knew I had that book in me, but I thought, oh, that's like 10-15 years from now. And so that was really a sign for me to start writing my book. And at that
Okay.
point I was really ready to start coaching and take all my business skills. And I really loved I've always been like kind of a nerd in studying neuroscience and psychology, so I was always like learning techniques for coaching and but not applying it because I was still in this work here. So that was
Okay.
just that's where I started, and that was almost 4 years ago that I got certified in that book publishing program, and then just took the leap into coaching and working with other people to empower them and their stories that they're sharing with their books and on stage and in their business. So I haven't looked back. It's been quite the journey.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, can you tell me about your first book? What is the title and what is it about?
Yeah, so this is my only book, Unleash Your Rising. It will be
Okay.
eventually a series, but right now this is it, Unleash Your Rising, which I think it's backwards on the
Oh, no,
camera
no, it's
here.
perfect. I can read it fine.
Oh, good. Okay. So, like I said, I started that even just in hiring the book publishing coach. It's like they had the
Okay.
publishing part all mapped out, but I really needed like an accountability coach. So it
Okay.
wasn't later until I actually hired accountability coach and
Okay.
sat down and really started to honor the process of the book. And I
So,
just consistently showed up and started writing it, and
okay.
then
So,
finally.
so what is the main content of your book? What are the things that they can expect about your book?
Oh, thank you for asking. So, this book is really to help ignite people into discovering more about themselves and their
Okay.
purpose, and creating a bigger vision for their life, and a vision to serve and not only transform their own life, but create that ripple effect. I focus a lot on the method of story, of discovering how you're telling your own story internally, your internal
Yes.
dialogue, obviously, but also how you're telling your story. Like, what stories are you telling people over and over about your life? And then you look at your life and you keep manifesting the same things over and over. So with all the personal development that I've done over all these years, I really began to like create a system of discovering where are the barriers there and how can we create and use new language and discover the root cause of where our barriers are, so that we can like rewrite a story for your life. And I believe that when you lean into breakthrough and discovering what's not working and take
Mm-hmm.
inventory of those parts of your life and rewrite your life and rediscover like who you are, that you begin to see clarity for your purpose and how you can really share your gifts with the world. So it's a very introspective book, and
Wow, that's awesome.
it dives into mindset, it dives into creativity and story, and it's really a wealth of it's a journey for people to really dive
Wow,
in and
that's
learn more.
exciting. So how long did it take for you to finish that book?
It took me about 6 months to write it,
Okay.
and it was I had committed to my coach that I would be sending my book off to the editor on July 4th. And come to find out, July 3rd at 11 o'clock, my husband and I were just praying over it. And I knew I wanted to like put a chart in the book. And I had not like put effort into like creating it. So I just went into like a deep, deep prayer meditation. I said, I'm ready for this chart. Like I know exactly where it's going to go. And I just need to like put it in and then take it, send it off to editing the next day. And it just came to me, and it required me to go and actually like rewrite a third of the book before I sent it off to professional editing. So with
Wow.
that piece, and then my kids were out of school for that summer,
Mm-hmm.
it took me about a little over a year to actually get the book out. But
Wow.
6 months of deep writing and probably 2 to 3 months of rewriting. So,
Okay.
and I didn't have a whole lot of help on how to write the book.
Yes, yes.
So I was really struggling with that piece. And that's where I've like created a system and a formula now for people who work with me. So it makes that a little bit easier and they can
Okay.
go faster to write and edit.
I'm always curious about the journey of creating something. And since you've taken the time to write your first book and you've gone through so many process within, in completing it, what are the things that you have discovered about yourself that changed you, or that changed your perspective in life? What was the main thing about writing this book that really now resonates you to help other people to write their own stories?
Oh, that's such a great question. And what comes up for me is the fact that when I started to write the book, like it brought up like so much not enoughness and questioning yourself, and it really like any fear that you have of showing up and telling people about your book, or even just sitting down and writing it, it will bring up everything about like not enoughness, unworthiness. Is anyone going to read this? Is it going to be good enough? Why am I wasting
Yeah.
my time? And then for me, like I've always been really shy about speaking in public. And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, like even having to ask people to support me, showing up on Facebook Live, being interviewed, I would be so scared. And so I just had to keep leaning into that fear, and then using tools that I use to like go back and find out, well, what's the root of this? What's
Okay.
the root of this fear and unworthiness? And that's part of what I do for people, so that they can like break through those barriers quickly and not be
Wow.
like going through the process questioning themselves, because then they become blocked and paralyzed and they're not honoring the vision. So
Okay. So,
that was huge for me. It's just
okay. So,
realizing that there was breakthrough in that.
okay. So the way you help people in helping them write their book is to also help them go through their own challenges and some of the doubts that they have in themselves. Is that right? And that's kind of like, it's almost like transforming them at the
Mhm.
same time writing their book, is what I'm hearing here.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful process, because they learn so much about what holds them back. and you're really like pressing into doing something big and like living
Wow.
in a vision that's really bigger than you are, to put a book out and that hope that it actually changes lives. Like that's a big deal. It's like you have to
Okay.
get out of your own way and know that you can be an instrument for it. And if there's any fear or not enoughness coming up, that's just going to keep you blocked from serving. So I
Uh-huh.
love the process. It is a transformative process for people, and
Wow, that's
it's
awesome. I've
really
never heard
beautiful.
of that, but that is actually incredible to learn about you. Now, let me ask you, I'm sure that you've helped some people already in the past, right? And so
Mhm.
what is the most memorable result that you got out of your servicing people this way?
Oh wow, it's hard to just talk about one.
Any
Some of the
anything
yes.
that you can share,
Oh
anything
my
that's
gosh,
like
there's like so
really
many
that
celebrations.
resonates to you and that you can share to
Yeah.
people to inspire them go through this process.
Yeah, I go through a process with people that I recently did at one of our breakthrough events, where I have them really document their story, like on a big piece of paper, and then for them, that for anybody, wouldn't that be hard, because you're like putting everything down on paper.
Yes.
And then we go through and we really discover like how we can move to a space of wholeness and completeness about those tougher challenges in our life, or trauma,
Okay.
or things that have happened. And it was just amazing working with someone through that process. Like, it was actually in an event, but just
Yes.
kind of like supporting one person who just like had this most huge aha moment. And she just came out of that, and she just started like furiously writing, and then she was sharing with everyone of just how powerful, like, this switch in her mind, and this aha moment where she just felt like she was just embodied with joy and gratitude for that
Okay.
experience, where first she was experiencing disempowerment and could bear, like, and that was actually a hard part of her story that she was writing in her book. And she's like, oh my God, like, now I can take this story and I can actually tell it from a, like, feeling that gratitude for it. And I'm able to pull those pieces of gratitude out. So I'm not telling it like this and
Yes.
disempowerment. And I can actually, like, I can feel the joy. And like, she totally shifted. It's powerful. And to witness that is it's the greatest reward, when you know
Yes.
that people can have that shift in that way for that part of their story.
So do you also do a one-on-one coaching? Because what I'm hearing is you were doing this in a large group of people during an event. Do you also do it on a one-on-one? Because I know some people are probably shy about sharing their stories in public or in a group of people. How does that work with you?
Yeah, so I do work one-on-one with people who are in the book process with me. They're already a client of mine. They're
Okay.
writing a book. If they get stuck, they know they can get on the phone and schedule that one-on-one with me for a personal one-on-one private session.
Okay.
So yeah, I do that as well. It's just as powerful. I would say in a community environment, it's even more powerful,
Really?
when
Okay.
you're willing to lean into that vulnerability piece. And that's what makes you a powerful speaker. That's what helps propel you, not just from writing a book, but also to be able to tell that story on stage, which is another part of what we do. And that's really what helps transform lives as well, not just the written word, but the spoken word, and saying that story, like being able to tell your story in the empowering
Okay.
way. Yeah.
So what is your vision right now with what you're doing? What are some of your goals?
I want to keep helping people get their books out,
Okay.
and just continue to run events for people who want to write a book and who want to tell their story from stage. And I really love the business aspect too. I love to see people successful, and knowing that
Yeah.
it's not just a book. There's always a program, or maybe they want to coach, or maybe they want to use that book as a lead tool to get on stage. So I love that, the business coaching behind that too. So
Oh,
just
wow.
continuing to support people who are in the process, and set them up so that the book is, a lead tool into, a nice business for them, and it's not just about book sales. It's about like creating a coaching
Okay.
business or a speaking business, or maybe they want to host retreats. So I love that process. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, but I want to reach more people. So we have an amazing team of people, but it looks like I'm
Okay.
probably going to have to, eventually like hire a coach that can kind of go through some of those preliminary processes with people so that I can reach more people. So
I see.
yeah.
Okay, that is incredible. I'm so excited for you,
Thank you.
Christine, because you are such a blessing to so many people for what you're doing. I can see that you will help so many people that are struggling in their life, questioning their self-worth, and going through your process is going to actually elevate them from being who they are, and all the things that they can dream of that they could probably accomplish it because of what you're doing for them. So that is so amazing. Now, if
Oh, thank
anybody
you.
wants to reach you, how can they get hold of you?
So they can find me on my website, christinegale.com or unleashyourrising.com. And all of my information is there. They can find me on Facebook or Instagram as well. So I'd love to connect. And I'm still in the space where I am coaching one-on-one. I still have the complimentary vision session there on my page so people can connect with me one-on-one with a vision call. I'm looking to really work with people who feel that they have an amazing story to share, but that they also understand that they would be writing that book in a way that really serves an audience. It's not just about telling their story, that they have a big vision, that they want to coach or speak or, serve people in a big way. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, here's my last question for you, Christine. With our situation right now, with all the things that are happening all over United States, what are the thoughts that you can share to people that can help them get through?
Yeah, that's a big question, because we're all experiencing some type of opportunity for breakthrough, no matter who you are or what you're experiencing. Obviously some people have lost their jobs, and now we have what's going on with George Floyd and all of the inequality and the anger and everything coming up for people. And I find that it's an opportunity for people to really lean in to where they're triggered and where they feel disempowered. And I always encourage people, like, journal through that. Like, start
Yeah.
asking yourself the question, like, well, what is the root cause of this emotion? I have a chart that's in my book I could show. I don't know if it's backwards,
Okay.
but
No,
there's
it's
a
not
system
backwards
that
at
you
all.
can,
Yeah.
it's not okay. There's a
No.
system that you can go through, and just, it's a tool. It's available on my website. It's a tool where you can just kind of first acknowledge how you're feeling, acknowledge,
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, there's chaos out there, and I'm experiencing this emotion. Just acknowledging that and being aware of it kind of creates that gap. But then asking yourself, well, where else have I felt this? And ask for those stories to, like, show up for you, so that that it really goes back deeper and further back than just what you're experiencing right now. I mean, people are, they're having challenges in their marriages. They're stuck in the house
Yes.
with their spouse, and, like, instead of being able to go out and, like, have retail therapy, or go
Yeah.
go to the gym, they're like, they have to deal with these issues. So I think we're all forced, and it's I don't well it's you might feel that you're forced, but I see it as an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to just lean into what that means, and how you can really break through that and
Okay.
find the goodness in that. So that's what I would share with people, is to see it as an opportunity of introspection and breakthrough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Christine. That is such an amazing, inspirational thoughts that you just shared to people. And I hope that people watch this video because they need this. They need to hear those words that you just gave them. And for everyone that's watching right now, I really encourage you to share this video, especially now that we are facing so many challenges in life. Please share this and reach out to Christine, because what she's doing is remarkably going to help you in your life and in your business. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you need to have more speakers that you wanted to listen to, please let me know, and just send us a comment. Thank you so much. And Christine, thank you so much for your time. You're amazing. And I truly, truly
Oh,
admire you.
oh, thank
Okay.
you. Likewise, you as well, Marie. You're amazing. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to say goodbye, everyone, and enjoy your weekend. And I'm hoping that stay safe and just keep praying to God and everything is going to be okay.